Hello, welcome back to episode 37 of the podcast, Nicole Allen PT podcast. I really need a new name for the podcast, but I don't have one right now, so maybe I'll change it at some point in the future. Anyway, today we are diving straight into one of my favourite topics, and I could talk about this probably for an hour at least, but we'll save that for another day. I am going to be talking to you about managing stress. Now, this is a question that came up in my check-ins this week, and it's something that actually happens to everyone. Everyone has stress. I think some people handle it really well. Some people work extremely well under pressure, and other people struggle to cope, struggle to manage it. And that can be for a variety of different reasons, like time management, emotional resilience, all sorts of different things. So, first of all, actually understanding stress and what it is a really good place to start. So stress is our natural response. So it's our body's natural response to the challenges that we face and any immense pressures that we might be under. It can activate our nervous system's fight or flight response, and it releases hormones called cortisol and adrenaline that help to cope with that immediate threat, quote unquote threat. Now, that doesn't mean that those hormones are a bad thing, and you see so much, I see this so much on the internet, and it just makes me roll my eyes. My eyes hurt from rolling that much. About cortisol and managing your cortisol and keeping it reduced and all of this. Cortisol is a hormone in your body that if you did not have, you would not wake up. Yeah, you wouldn't wake up. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't wake up, because it's natural and it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. It's essential, and it's used for so many different things. So I'm just going to nip this in the bud right now in the first 2 minutes of this episode, that anything you see about reducing cortisol and cortisol spikes and all of that, cortisol diet, look, I'm sure I've seen something about a cortisol diet. What the hell is that? What the F is that? Anyway, it's just rubbish, absolute rubbish. So it's essential. Your body needs that hormone. So learning to cope with these stresses, whatever stresses you have, is absolutely crucial for staying healthy, both mentally and physically. And not just in the moment, but long term too. So there are lots of different signs of stress. You can have physical signs of stress like exhaustion, fatigue, headaches, muscle tension, muscle contractions. Have you ever had it when your eye twitches, or I notice it in my leg, one of my quads twitches. Your heart rate can go up. You can get sweaty, clammy. Sometimes people can have digestive disturbances. So stress is highly linked to IBS and other digestion problems. And sometimes people can feel nauseous, lightheaded and stuff as well. Your emotional signs of stress are things like feeling quite tense, quite uneasy, quite anxious, or feeling fear, you're feeling low mood, isolated, you might lose interest in certain activities, your mood might be up and down, a bit of a lack of motivation, or feeling a bit restless, loads of signs of stress. And I've probably just gone through the tip of the iceberg there. But stress can impact us in so many ways. It can have a physical impact on us, and that can be a short term, but then it can have a really long term. So long term, high stress for a long period of time, so chronic stress, can also lead to muscle tension, fatigue, poor sleep, weakened immune system, high blood pressure, cardiovascular problems, so many things. And like emotionally and mentally, it can have an impact too. So it can impair your concentration, it can affect decision making and problem solving, it can increase like irritability and mood swings, and it can affect your ability to focus on work, which can then affect how much work you actually can get done. And then like it can affect your performance, so like your productivity, like it just plummets if you're really stressed, like your creativity, how you can like maintain a consistent performance, and whether that be at work or whether that be just in the gym. Like if you feel like you're training and like your training's not really getting anywhere, and you feel like you've been hitting the same weight for a long time and it's not actually getting anywhere, it can really disrupt like your training plan, how you show up, the mindset that you go into a training session with. It can affect so much. And we all have like different triggers, like different stressors, and we all have stress. It's a normal thing. But stress is not like, we all have stress, we all feel stressed, but stress is not what happens to us. It's our response to what happens. And your response is something that you can actually choose. I'm going to say that again. Stress is not what happens to us. It's our response to what happens. And our response is something that we can choose. How amazing is that? So you might have all these triggers that stress you out. You might have these stressors, and there could be things like relationships, health concerns, like daily just hassles and inconveniences, anything work related, like financial worry or stability, any health concerns that you might have. Loads of different things can like trigger us, and like things like if you've got like irregular work patterns, time management, physical like expectations with like your body image, and like the pressure to show up and be and look a certain way. I know when I first got into the industry that I'm in, like it used to stress me out a lot, like being under pressure to look a certain way and to present myself a certain way and to be like an example, like a role model and all of that stuff. And at the time, having 2 babies under 2 years old, that was highly stressful. And it can be different things that show up that can make us feel stressed. So there's 2 ways we can deal with stress and manage it. We can manage it in the short term. So we can manage like how we respond to the feelings of stress that might come up. And that might be things like going for a walk, practicing like deep breathing. Honestly, like but not enough people do this. Like meditating, using like aromatherapy, or taking a warm bath, because that can be quite warming and quite relaxing for our muscles and our nervous system. Getting literally like connecting with people, like getting a hug off someone or having a conversation with, you've got those people in your life, right? That like they walk into a room and they light the room up, and you can talk to them and you always feel better after you've spoken to them. Like go and speak to that person, like pick up the phone, send them a message, go out for coffee, whatever that might be. Like just lean into them. And in the short term, that's how you can manage stress. In the long term, things like exercising regularly, eating well, practicing mindfulness, practicing like relaxation techniques, managing your time, all of these things, like having social support, delegating, literally can, in the long term, really help to manage stress. So that might look like, with exercise, regular physical activity. It does not have to be 5 days a week in the gym. It could be going for a walk, it could be going for a run, it could be going to yoga, a dance class, whatever you enjoy, go and do it. This is why I'm like putting the event on at the end of March, because I want to show people that there should be no pressure around exercise, and you can actually exercise in a way that is fun and enjoyable and get just the same benefits from it. And you don't have to punish yourself with it. You can do it regularly enough, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours, whatever it is, like it will help in like an insane amount to release those endorphins and reduce your stress. It might be mindfulness and meditation, so practicing like deep breathing, meditating, yoga, just to help you stay grounded and stay calm. Honestly, time management is the single best thing I do and I help clients with to manage the stress, to prioritize tasks, to set boundaries, to avoid like over committing, because then that'll reduce the overwhelm. Sleep is a huge one. So making sure you're resting enough, sleeping for not just your physical, but for your mental recovery. These people who are like, oh, I can manage just fine on 5 hours sleep. Absolute BS. No, you can't. You're lying to yourself, honestly. You go and tell a mum who's got a 6-week-old baby that she can manage on 3 hours sleep, because I can bet you anything, if she could choose not to, she would. And honestly, some people drive me crazy. Having a healthy diet, because that can help like keep your mood and your energy levels nice and stable. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. If you're watching this on YouTube, like I look like I'm just flying or something. So social support, so connecting with friends, family and colleagues to share your experiences and relieve stress. Like sometimes, like they say, like a problem shared is a problem halved. Like sometimes just communicating with people is so important, because you're only one person, you can't bottle everything up. And like, what else did I say? Relaxation. So incorporate activities that are not work, that are not exercise. So things like hobbies like reading, artwork, listening to music, colouring, like just things that you find quite therapeutic and quite relaxing, that are not on your phone, that are just mindful, relaxing activities. And if you tell me you don't have time for something like reading, check your screen time. Check how long you spent on Instagram and TikTok today, and then come tell me you don't have time. Or Facebook, whatever your go-to is. Then delegation. So honestly, I know we all think we're super women. We're all amazing, and I'm really trying not to swear. We're all amazing, but you are only one person, and you don't get a medal for doing it all yourself. Nobody thinks any differently of you. So offload things when you can to reduce your workload, and don't worry about putting things on other people, because I'm sure if they were in your position, they wouldn't think twice about doing it. So don't stress. I think, what else? I spoke about time management, didn't I? And I was talking about so this is the big one, because what we can do is we can overcommit to things. We can say yes too much. We can feel like we have all these plates to spin and we've got so many different things to be doing, and we say yes all the time. Sometimes it can be a bit of people pleasing, because we don't want to say no, because we don't want to upset people. But I think when I talk about time management, I don't just mean like work, I mean like you time, like time for yourself. Because it's not just about like fitting in all your tasks and making sure you get them all done. It's about giving yourself time for activities that like nourish your well-being and minimize stress. So as an example, something I've been practicing this week is I was dancing till quite late at night. I was getting up in the morning and training in the gym at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. My sleep was not good, not good. I was waking up feeling drained, did not want to train. I'd put half my effort into my training sessions, didn't enjoy it, didn't want to do it, would skip sessions, snooze my alarm and everything. What I've done this week, what I've been trialling this week, is prioritising my sleep. So making sure that before bed, I put my phone away, I'm journaling, I'm not scrolling. So I'm writing about the wins from the day, how I want to show up tomorrow, what I want to do tomorrow, something I'm grateful for, and a habit that I'm leaving behind. They tend to be the journal prompts that I use on a night. And then going to bed, doing my skincare, going to bed, and I swear the last 2 days I've woken up, I felt energised, I felt happy, I've not snoozed my alarm, I've been ready to just get up at 6 o'clock and excited to get out of bed. And I've done an hour work block before the boys and my husband gets up, and then just gone into my day and I've put my training session in the afternoon. I actually look forward to my training session. I actually train hard and just by allocating the time differently, it's massively reduced my stress. So organising your schedule so that you can create that space for relaxation, for self-care, for activities that give you joy, and just light you up, you're mitigating the impact of any stresses that might come up. So it might look like, for you, it might look like setting boundaries to protect your time, protect your energy, and learning to say no to commitments that don't align with your priorities and don't align with where you want to be. Identify your priorities. So look at the things that are most important to you and to your well-being, your overall goals, and focusing your time and attention onto those. Planning your day, your week, your month, planning your day, your week and your month, and scheduling tasks and breaks to maintain balance and protect you from overwhelm, because rest is productive and rest equals success. By not resting, you are on a one-way ticket to burnout and overwhelm and stress. So by actually resting, you are giving your brain and body time to relax. So then when you jump back in, you've got more energy, more creativity, just more get up and go. So plan strategically. So for me, for example, I won't be planning my workouts at 6:30 a.m. in the morning ever again, based on this week. We'll see how it goes, but I won't be, because actually that slower morning gives me so much more energy. Get rid of time wasters, anyone who's just draining your time, draining your energy unnecessarily, just and that might not be people. So if a person jumped in your head, then I don't just mean people, but I mean behaviours like scrolling, being on social media, being in meetings that just aren't productive, all of this. And then make sure you're practicing self-care activities like exercise, mindfulness, leisure activities, going out for walks, planning your meals, eating healthy, eating well, and make sure you're practicing that and putting that into your schedule as well, like you would a doctor's appointment or anything else. And then I think probably what else? So I talked about emotional resilience, didn't I, right at the start? So I think this is just it's that mindset of stress happens to everybody, but it's our response that we can control. So being resilient to stress will give you that edge to be able to just handle it. And what's really important with this mindset is to have a growth mindset and not a closed mindset. So try to view stress is, it's trying to tell you something. As much as it can feel unhelpful, it's trying to tell you something. So try and view it as opportunities to learn from and grow, rather than things that are just a threat and things that are just going to instigate that fight or flight response. Because when you embrace and adapt to challenges, you can navigate things so much easier. You can deal with unpredictable situations, you can deal with difficult people, difficult situations without becoming overwhelmed by everything, and without deep in it, and without being just internally just having a spontaneous combustion or whatever it's called. But using the techniques I mentioned earlier, like mindfulness and deep breathing exercises, can really help you to stay calm and focused when you're under so much pressure. And the language that you use as well. So focus on like positive self-talk and setting realistic expectations for yourself. It can help you to be more compassionate towards yourself. It can help to keep things in perspective, and it can help to like with like setting like my brain's just malfunctioned. It can help to prevent burnout, and it can help you to maintain balance, stay motivated, and just be you, and the like approach situations with calm, with confidence, with conviction, even during those challenging times. And the last thing, obviously, I want to touch on, because I realised I've been talking for 20 minutes, which is very long, is just have a support system. Like, make sure you've got a support system in place, because like I said earlier, you are one person and you can't internalise everything without hitting burnout, without feeling absolutely wired, burning the candle at both ends. Talk about your stress to people, not in a way that's like, because sometimes I don't think it can be a helpful behaviour all the time, and it definitely depends on who you're speaking to. Like, don't just speak to people about stress just to be like, to get reassurance and comfort from it without actually dealing with it. But having a support system in place, like friends, family, or even like a coach, like for yourself if you don't have one, it can be a good outlet for like your frustrations, your challenges, your concerns. And you never know, like one conversation with the right person, they can just say something in the right way that can just make you think so much differently about things. So yeah, having a support system around you where you can speak to someone about your problems, like speak to the right people. Don't speak to people who are just going to keep you stuck where you're at. Speak to people who are going to lift you up, who are going to empower you and motivate you to move and keep working forwards on yourself and whatever else it might be, because it might not be you. It might be some work stuff stressing you out. It might be like family. It might be whatever. It could be anything. But yeah, I think managing stress is not just about improving your own well-being. It's about setting an example as well to like those around you, your colleagues, your people who might work under you, your family, your friends. Like literally it can have a ripple effect into everybody else. And by like putting the stress management techniques into your life, it can help you to just stay energized, resilient, focused, and just on it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on managing stress in 22 minutes. If you enjoyed this episode, if you found it useful and you think someone else would too, please share it. Like, share it. Tag someone in it. Comment below if there's anything else you want me to cover in any of these episodes. And that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one.